Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's John D, one half of Sticks and Stones Gaming, coming at you with a quick little quick review. So this review right here is for Kona on the Stadia. So I'll be blowing through these Stadia games, these Stadia Pro free bad boys. I enjoy myself. I enjoy myself when it comes to these. But before I get started, man, if y'all been part of the movement for a minute and you guys see us out here working, a like and subscribe would be truly appreciated. That thumbs up. Also, if you like the review, if you like what we're doing, but also just talk to us, man. Talk to us in the comments. We are active. And I say we, I mean Kairu will message you because I'm not looking at these comments. I'm not trying to talk to y'all. But either way, let's get right into it. So, game length. So this game took me, I would say, about 5.5 hours, give or take, for what I know, because the game doesn't really give you that much of a tracking or anything at the end that tells you that you did some sort of percentage, or if it does, I definitely missed it. But I feel like I got a lot done, but I did freeball it. But no guides or anything like that, because guides are whack. But I pretty much went through every single area and found every little detail, read every single thing that I could pick up, like aggressively on some like OCD like craziness. But it took me about 5 hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours, give or take. I'm not 100% sure with my conception of 100%ing. So there's that. So story quality and telling. Story was solid. You got this unsolved mystery sounding type guy narrating everything as you do things, which was solid, especially if your brain didn't register what was going on right away. He gave you that refresher and always let you know something was up when you reached an area. You also have all the lore and just the visuals of the area you're in that really fed into what was going on, and it enforced that you were in a pretty strange place. The quality was solid, though. It worked with the pacing, but mainly depended on how much effort you put in. Gameplay. It's a straightforward first-person survival mystery with a little splash of action. Overall, it's a mystery game, though. That's the thick of it. Then you have these small, like, survival nods, like health, how cold you are, and a sanity meter. The meters never really reached a point of danger because while exploring the game and solving the mysteries presented, there was always enough of what I needed to keep everything full, OCD style. I'm not sure if letting the sanity or anything like that like get low affects the gameplay at some point, but the game's slow enough and waiting for it would have dragged more. One thing that might be hit or miss for most people playing this game is the fact that you get what you put in. So if you search every inch of the map, oh man, the map, we're going to talk about that in a second. You'll find like little story pieces, lore, and even things that speed up the gameplay. For example, a jet ski that I found the parts to via searching, and one really like out of place just puzzle. After getting this, I was flying from one end of the map to the other, like way faster than the car in the game could go. It was zooming. So it felt like a cheat almost. It was just flying. Like jet skis aren't that fast. Or maybe they are, I'm not sure. The map is a bit of a problem though, because you have to like hold it open and look at it regardless of if you're driving or not. And you're like driving around the world in mostly just white snow everywhere until it's dark, then it's just black everywhere. But like you have to like hold up the map and look at it while you're driving, so he could hold it up on the side and stuff. So it gets like, imagine doing that in real life. It reminds me of the old school like MapQuest days. I'm showing my age, but the map isn't that big, so it depends on your patience. But after a few runs, I realized that I somewhat memorized it and was more into the exploring aspect than anything, so I just let the game take me. Game also had some minor action. I didn't see action until like the last hour or so of the game when I randomly spotted a wolf in a cave. Then after that, I just started fighting these wolves, and then they turned into like these imaginary like ghost wolves, and then I started being chased by a Wendigo. So there was that. But the action isn't great, but I mean it makes sense to the game because you're an average human. So I guess he probably wouldn't be good with weapons as is. Like you can swing weapons, but you get guns and stuff too that you find throughout the game. But I was swinging weapons when I had the chance. That's how I get down. But I probably could have beat the game without firing a single bullet. I did enjoy the main plot lines. They always presented something nice to look at and a solid story that ended up with me freezing some sort of like lost soul to get past this huge ice wall. I know that sounds crazy, but you'll understand it the second you see it in the game. And then up until the final reveal and such, these things were solid, man. It was solid enough to run through. If you just want to finish the game, I think that's good enough to give it a run through. Outside of that, the game is drive here, investigate a spooky area, connect clues, and then get spooked by this badass old dude just sitting around in his house hoping someone came over to bring him some booze from a storm. Very simple stuff. So the dialogue. Dialogue is carried by the narrator. And honestly, the only other person you really hear speak is that old man you run into. And that's really the only talking you're going to hear in the game. There's a lot of reading, a lot of like visual storytelling, but it really depends on the player rather than the game itself. But either way, the dialogue's solid. It's simple enough to get a pass, and it didn't go down the B-movie road like most low-budget games have, or like most low-budget short games have. So it held its own. So I'll give it its props for that. Controls. The controls are simple. Nothing crazy outside of having to manage your inventory and select everything that you want to use. Like you get a typical 4-slot quick select option, but there's so many things that you may want to use in this game, and it feels strange just jumping in and out of the menu, and like, you know, it's very jarring to just back and forth menu in such a like immersive, like realistic type like looking and playing game. Realistic with, you know, with an asterisk, but either way. Character development. Outside of like the main mystery developing, there's no real character development. I mean, you're just this guy being nosy, but also trying to get out of this very Fargo / Twin Peaks vibe type place. So there's really no like, you know, him coming to. It's kind of him just like, oh man, the more I figure this out, I got to get the hell out of here. And then, you know, he gets the hell out of here or whatever happens at the end for you, you know. Graphics and level design. The graphics are simple. They're solid. I mean, nothing looked bad. The detail of things held together from afar and when you got up close. And a lot of the things hiding in the snow were solid. And the detail was there, especially in the car. There's like a lot of, you know, just little details like the gas and all that stuff moving and whatnot. And like in the buildings, when you investigate, there's things that look cool. I think things kind of go down a little bit when it comes to the character models. And you can kind of tell that just based off of how like your character's model moves, like his arms and stuff just feel type funny. And then when you see people in the game for once, it kind of feels like a 4K skinned N64 model. But I'm not mad at that. I'm not going to complain. I'm not, you know, it's a low budget game. It's not like it was like, oh, this is trash. It was like, all right, I get it. Sound design was good, man. Everything sounded decent for the most part. I mean, nothing really stood out. And I think it had like a nice little bit of music, and like the sounds and stuff created a good atmosphere. It made you feel like you were in this cold ass place with this dude. And, you know, when the spookies happen, they happen. When things got eerie, they happen. Like you felt it. You knew what was going on. So I think that atmosphere was just right. So I'm not mad at it. Replay value, man, it's pretty low. I feel like you can knock everything out in one playthrough if you tried a little bit. And then after that, you'd really have no reason to run it back. I mean, the story's solid, but it's one of those one and done type things. So once you figure out the story, that's really it. So other than that, I really wouldn't get too crazy about it. But that's really it. That's all I really have for this review, man. It was a pretty short game. It was a short, quick playthrough. But I must say I did enjoy it. So have you guys played this? Let me know. Let us know in the comments, and let us know if there's any other games that are kind of like a quick one and done like this that you would like us to play or review. You know, I'm definitely a fan of getting these. If there's any games on the Stadia, if anybody in the world besides me has one, let me know, man. Let me know if there's something on there that you think I should check out. I'm a big fan of these arcade type games, so I, you know, easily would go check these games out. Like, I have no problem with these quick one and dones. But that's pretty much it, man. Check out the page. Check us out on social medias. Check out the podcast. But also, if you like this review, a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Let us know how we're doing. Peace.